What's up, everybody? BigSweetC here with you. Got a special little video for you today. Today we are talking a hot topic. In case you haven't noticed, I know we're kind of still in the stay home, stay safe phase of the coronavirus pandemic. But if you have gotten a chance to go outside, or maybe you turned on your TV, you might have noticed there is something going on in this country. And it is a big something going on in this country. Riots have officially broken out all over the country, not just the country itself, but worldwide. Protests at local communities, protests at American embassies in foreign countries, all over a recent event, a most unfortunate event. We had an African-American gentleman by the name of George Floyd. He was murdered by 4 police officers in Minneapolis, Minnesota a few days ago. And I say murder, I do not use murder lightly. This was a brutal murder. He was having an altercation with the police, and by altercation, I don't necessarily mean violent altercation. Something had happened where the police approached this man. One thing led to another, and all of a sudden this guy was on the ground with a police officer's knee and entire body weight on the back of his neck. While Mr. Floyd is screaming out, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe, where's my mom, I can't breathe," the police, with a giant smile on their face, murdered this man in front of everybody, cameras rolling, in broad daylight. Murdered this man with a smile on their face in broad daylight with cameras rolling. It was murder. Because of this, protests blew up all over the place. Justice for Floyd. Justice for Floyd. The Minneapolis Police Department responded by arresting the one individual who had his knee on his back, but not the 3 other individuals that willingly watched this happen. That's not enough. That wasn't enough, because not only was he the only one arrested for this, but he was also only charged with 3rd-degree murder and, I believe, aggravated assault. This was murder with intent. At the very least, this should have been murder 1 with life in prison, at the very least. Book closed, game over. But it wasn't. It wasn't. They brought the one guy in, they fired the other 3, put him on temporary leave, whatever it is they decided to do. They fired the one guy and charged him with a bullshit sentence, and that sentence hasn't even occurred yet. We'll see. We're still awaiting the actual verdict of whether that guy spends any time behind bars for murder or not. Because of that weak response, the protests around the country have blown up into full-on riots. And if you've never experienced a riot before, I'll kind of describe one for you. Mass groups of people destroying property, looting property, causing fires, just all sorts of what would look like from the outside indiscriminatory violence. And on a normal pretense, if we were back in 2005, Michigan State University, and the Spartans just lost their Final Four game, and we get upset and we start burning couches, that would be an undiscriminatory protest, riot, if you will. That is not what is happening here. This is a response to the lack of response from our American leadership. It was JFK back in 1962 said, and I quote, "Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable." Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable. He was not talking to the people. He did not aim that at the people of this country. He was specifically talking to the establishment. 60 years later, we are still in this exact same moment. JFK was telling the establishment, if we don't let these guys get the change they want, they are going to come for us. It took 60 years, but we are coming for you now. And it has to be this way. 60 years of oppression that we have rightfully been calling out. And I say we. I am a supporter of the black community. I am not a black community member myself. So this is really all of our fights, and I will get to that in a second. That is why I use the term we. This is a we fight. And it's coming. It has been coming for a long time, and it is now here, and it is now upon us, and we should support those that are on our side. We should support those that are using the violent revolution to perpetuate progress that we need in this country. You can no longer sit on the sidelines. You can no longer say, yeah, I'm against racism, but not be against racism. We have a systemic problem in this country, and it's been this way for years. People of color have been disproportionately attacked through the justice system since the beginning of this country. And if you think looting is the wrong way to go about it, let me give you a little history lesson on the American motive. We Americans have taken everything we've wanted, regardless of whether you wanted us to have it or not. We started this country by taking everything from the Native Americans. We started this country by taking the Africans from their country, bringing them here, and then forcing them to do our work for no pay. We took them. We did not buy them. We did not make a deal with Africa to send them over. We took them. We took this country. When there's oil in the Middle East, we go over there and we take it. We do not ask them to sell it to us. We take it from them. We want to go into Venezuela because they have oil that we want and they don't want us to have it. We want it, so we are doing everything we can to take it. So now here on our homeland, for 60 years, the African American community has been begging you, make changes. Well, now they're not asking anymore. They are taking. They are taking what is rightfully theirs, and we should fully be in support of that. 60 years they've been quiet. 60 years they've been peaceful. Now it is time for violence. Now it is time. Take what you want because it's what you deserve. It's what the establishment would do to you. We do it all over the world. We go into other countries, we take whatever we want, and we have no remorse about it. But we come back here, and we come home, and we're supposed to just beg and plead until you decide to give it to us. No more. No more. It is our turn to take, and that's the way it's going to be. That is the way it has to be. That is the only way things are going to change. What's more about it is we have leadership on both sides that have literally zero response to any of this. Yeah, we get a lot of great tweets from President Obama. Yeah, we get a lot of great, articles about how Beyonce is speaking out against racism, and Jay-Z is calling the governor of Minnesota and having a human talk with these guys. Well, that human talk must not be going very well, because the governor of Minnesota, after that talk, said that this situation is very clear. It's not about George Floyd anymore. It's about attacking civil society, instilling fear, and disrupting our great cities. Does that really sound like a guy who listened to anything Jay-Z had to just say? No. No, it does not. They are not listening to us anymore. Now, I know this is going to be a hot topic because I have a lot of police friends. Actually, most of my biggest supporters on my channel are former military, former police, active military, active police. And I'm coming at this from a friend, but also as a citizen. Your silence is consent. I see Twitter feeds all day about cops in certain areas being nice and giving these great speeches about how we serve the people, not the other way around. But I also see other cops beating 60, 70-year-old men with canes because they're not walking the street fast enough. White 60, 70-year-old men walking with a cane, struggling to run through this area that they don't want these people in, being shoved down by 25, 26-year-old cops that are steroided out, and they only became cops because they want to be able to harass people and do it legally. Silence is consent. It is time to start calling out your colleagues. Those 4 people that were there when George Floyd was murdered, 3 of them sat there and watched that 4th guy murder that man. They didn't try to stop him. They didn't try to stop him. They didn't try to knock this guy off. They didn't try to pull him off George Floyd while he's yelling, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe." They let him die. They let him die. It's time for this to come to a head. Now, I am not one of those people that goes out and advocates destruction for the purpose of destruction. I identify with the Joker character because I know what it's like to have been beaten down by society. Believe that the only way anybody is going to notice you is to cause mass chaos. That is not what I'm saying. But it's also in our American blood when someone tries to tread on you to fight back. The Boston Tea Party, the American Revolution. That was because we did not want someone treading on our land. That land that we then took from somebody else. We've been preparing ourselves. We've been breeding ourselves for this very situation. And to go and have the establishment say, no, that's not the way to do it, is bullshit. The establishment has been doing it for years. They're doing it right now. CNN put out a tweet that apparently one of the attorney general's autopsy of George Floyd said that it wasn't necessarily the choking that killed this guy. Could have been his previous health problems. Could have been possible drugs in his system. Not we definitely found cocaine. Not we definitely found heroin. We definitely found marijuana in his system. The possibility that it's in there. They do that to discredit this man's death in order to show you, make you feel that these riots, these protests are made up fictitious nonsense. They are not. These are a response to years and years of systemic oppression. Years and years of African American leaders begging, pleading white establishments to help us out a little bit. To only have it fall on deaf ears. We had a black president for 8 years. Antifa started under him. We had a black president for 8 years. Jay-Z had him on text. We still had police brutality. We still have police brutality. This is an establishment versus the people thing. And it's finally time that the people have decided to fight back. Because they haven't been playing fair. They haven't been playing fair. So now it's our turn. It's our at-bat. And I say fuck playing fair. I say fuck playing fair. They're not going to. We have no leadership in this. Outside of maybe Killer Mike and Cornel West, the only faces of this protest that are worthy of being heard. Barack Obama went on TV, said some nice words. Antifa started under you. He tweets out, vote. Vote for who? Vote for you? Vote for you who had 8 years of leadership and you did nothing to curb this? Vote for Joe Biden, the guy who authored the bill in 1994 that exacerbated this police brutality? Vote for him? That's not a response. That's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. But who are you going to vote for? You're going to vote for Donald Trump? A man who literally made millions screwing over people of color in their homes? How about Kamala Harris calling out the ridiculousness and the undemocratic way, the defining moment of the destruction of democracy because Trump's not doing anything? Well, how about when she was Attorney General of California, her not prosecuting our now Treasury Secretary, Steve Mnuchin, even though her department wanted to? How about the fact that Barack Obama let the banks throw 5.1 million people out of their home after they found out they defrauded those people? The banks were the one that fucking caused that, not the people. But the banks got bailed out. The people got kicked out of their homes. You're telling me he's going to do something about this? Fuck peace. Fuck peace. It is our turn now, and you have every right to go out there and show the establishment that you're serious. Now, I say this from the comfort of my own home. I understand. I am not telling you to go out and just commit violence to commit violence. That is not what this is about. But if you feel the need, if you have had enough, it is your right. It is an American responsibility to go out there and hold your leaders accountable. I do have a few things that I would like to say. If you are going to go to these protests, bring your phone, take off any kind of security measure that you have to get into your phone. Record everything. Have it out. Even if it's in your pocket, be recording. When you go there, do not immediately go and attempt to cause violence. Don't just go up to a random window and throw a brick through it. That is not what this is about. This is about peacefully assembling, but we are going to go to the extreme if we have to. Let them cause it first. Ample evidence that they're going to. Ample evidence that they're going to. Protect yourself. Protect yourself. Malcolm X said it best. I don't believe in violence. But violence to defend yourself is not violence. It's called intelligence. You need these violent actors to make the peaceful ones look legitimate. Martin Luther King Jr. needed Malcolm X. Martin Luther King Jr. was the peaceful guy. And while I don't go around saying that Malcolm X was the we need violence at every turn guy, you need someone on your side that is willing to go to that length to make the peaceful leader look like the better alternative. We have a two-party system. Both of them are conservative right parties. They both believe in the same thing. They both inherently believe in the same thing. Sure, one of them says you can go to whichever bathroom you want, but they both believe in the same systemic problems. So you need a leftist movement to show that they need to move more to the people, not just to themselves. This is why it was so important that Bernie Sanders stayed in the race, because you can't have a center-right guy and a right guy and expect anything for the left. Same thing here. Same principle applies. If you're going to sit out there and you're going to peacefully protest and they're going to completely ignore you, CNN wasn't covering any of this stuff. CNN was not covering any of this stuff until the protests broke out into riots. And now they're over here talking about the riots and the looting and telling you that it's closet actors that are only there to sow discord. They're writing opinions that Russia wanted to sow discord in the United States before the elections. They are covering up their bullshit responses. So it is time to take action. And you should support that action. And you should support that action. It wasn't the people that militarized our police. That was a Democrat. It was a Democrat that put tanks in the middle of Nebraska. It was a Democrat that gave military-grade vests to every single policeman in this country and an assault rifle in every hand of the police officers in this country. That was a Democrat. That was a Democrat that did that. And now they're out there using that military equipment against you. I know people that have signed up to be cops. Very nice, peaceful people. You know what the police said to them? Sorry, guy, you're not what we're looking for. Because they're not looking for nice people. They're looking for people that want to disrupt society. If that's the kind of people they're going to put out there to protect us, well, then it's not stupid to fight back. It's the right thing to do. Go out and vote. How about enough? Enough what? Enough what, Joe Biden? Enough of your 1994 crime bill? Enough of your, it doesn't matter if it's society's fault that they turned out the way they turned out, long as they're behind bars. Right, Joe Biden? That was you. That was you on the Senate floor. Now you're saying it's enough. Enough what? What are you going to do? He's over here saying no place for violence. Yeah, well, you killed 90% civilians with your drone bombings, Joe Biden. No place for violence. You let the DAPL protesters get frozen cold water sprayed on them from a fire hose in the middle of the fucking winter. You let that happen. No place for violence. Fuck you. No place for violence. Pick up the Constitution. Right to peaceful assemble. We tried to peacefully assemble. You wouldn't listen. You wouldn't listen. Now it's time to make our voices heard. Now it's time to make our voices heard. But please, be safe. Be smart. They will come after you. This video is probably going to get taken down, so I hope you watch this real fucking fast because it's definitely going to get taken down. I'm going to earn nothing on it. This is not a call for violence. This is a call for intelligence. But they're not going to look at it this way. Talking about a National Police Oversight Commission. Oversight of what? I'm going to end this on this. The time has come. There is a systemic fight that goes beyond race, goes beyond the community. There is a fight between the haves and the have-nots. Systemic racism perpetuates that. Attacking systemic racism will help, but we can't stop there. We can demand all the justice we want for George Floyd, and I strongly encourage that we do so. But now's the time to ask for more. Not ask for more. Now's the time to take more. BigSweetC signing off. Peace.